All right. Well, welcome. Session three. Most importantly, everybody has leveled up. So, because we were just talking about it, does anybody want to go first and tell us something cool that has happened as you've gone from level one to level two?
I got more hit points.
Well, that's cool. I
I
would assume most of you did.
I went Bard, and I got Jack of all trades, allowing me to have half proficiency for all the stuff I'm not proficient in.
That's cool.
So that
So
helps me with
I love
some spells. Well, not spells, skills. There we go.
I love the concept of jack of all trades. I think that's super fun. Like
Yeah.
that just gives you a benefit for no matter what you're doing. It's just a super cool thing. And then, all right, so jack of all trades. Anything else cool? Question one. Question two. Do you want to roll for hit points? Or you're going to take half.
I think I'm gonna take half. Or the usual. I can't screw around with having low hit points yet.
No, yeah.
It's low AC and low hit points are too dangerous at this point.
Not
Okay.
recommended.
All right.
Potential
All right.
1, 2, or 3 maybe. That's rough. But
All
I
right.
I also did get Song of whatever. So when we take a short rest, Song of Rest. When we take a short rest, people can get an extra D6 to heal if they're
Oh
healing,
wow.
like with hit die and
So it
whatever.
like does it double the D or is it just an additional D6?
An additional D6 just for the short rest. So like it's just an
Okay.
additional one that anyone can take as long as they are healing, because it has to be an extra 1d6, so it can't be the only healing.
Well, me,
Oh, okay. I see. I see. Okay. So like if they had used their hit die, short rest won't help them, and this won't give a benefit, kind of thing.
Yeah, so if we took a short rest and everyone just had to like top off and use one die, they get a d6. If we're hurting and everyone has to use like half their hit die, well, this is later, but if they use like 4, they still get just one d6 unless that goes up later and stuff.
No, I
But
mean like that's a great benefit. I mean, at low levels it kind of sucks because if like somebody burns their hit die on the first short rest, they wouldn't get it on the second one. But that's a
no,
great ability.
no, you still get it. Well,
Oh well,
not on the same short rest. Yeah, that's
no, no. What I'm saying is
yeah,
like
yeah,
you
yeah.
said if they're
No.
healing, so if they don't have a D to burn during a short rest,
Oh
then
yeah, yeah.
it
That doesn't help
yeah
either.
yeah. All right,
Yeah. So I
cool.
mean, there's different things with it, but yeah,
No,
you
helps.
got two bards in
that's
the group.
really cool. I didn't know that was a thing. All right, who wants to go? I'm sorry. Is there anything else you want to throw?
I don't think so.
All right, all right. Who wants to go next?
Don't forget, you got two bards in the group. So I've also got Song of Rest.
Oh wow!
You went.
So
All right, cool.
literally an additional 2d6 as long as somebody has hit points to. Oh, that's awesome. I
Power.
mean, I don't like it as the DM. In fact, I hate it. But I think as a player, I'd love that.
Yeah, excuse me. After level 3, I'm going with Psionic Sorceress, so it won't go that far. But at least we got a little bit now.
That's cool. That's cool. All right. Well, Nova Cree, you're talking. Do you want to talk about any cool things that happened to you at level two?
Pretty much just the same thing that Kev had. Got Jack of all trades, Bardic Inspiration, but we got that level 1, I think. So nothing with the racials, and I just took the standard for the hit points.
Okay. All right. Cool. Codswallop and Mr. Crotch Cannon, low key Crotch Cannon. Who wants to go next?
What? Why am I crotch cannon?
Well, if I remember correctly, you hung
Oh
out
yeah.
from Zahir's crotch last week and fired like a maximum damage shot. So I'm sorry, but it just felt like relevant recap.
Ginyu.
That does explain a lot. Makes sense. I was thinking I'm gonna take a level in wizard if that's all good,
Oh
and
yeah.
being in the snow for so long and being in lockdown and whatnot, he's been reading up on trying to cast spells and has just had some success with it now. So taking the first steps on being a wizard.
Okay, cool.
So
Are
I
you
got a spell book, and I think currently I would be looking for an arcane focus or like a what's it called? A component pouch so that I can use some material stuff. Because if I have material spells, I can't really cast them at the moment.
right? Right. Do you? So, just out of curiosity, are you thinking of doing a straight up dual class build between the rogue wizard, or are you thinking of like going into like arcane trickster and kind of dabbling back and forth? What are your thoughts moving forward?
I'm just gonna do a dip into wizard, and
All
I'll
right.
be mainly rogue. I think at this time, but I try not to think too far
Too
ahead
far
and
ahead. Okay.
just be like, yeah, this is the level I have, kind of
All right.
thing.
No, I think it's an interesting build. And I think it's something that like several of us haven't seen in this game yet. So cool. And then as far as hit points, do you want to roll for them? Do you want to? It's first level actually in a new class, so you're gonna get max anyway. So all right, cool. Anything else you want to talk about?
Um, what else? No, I pretty much just got spells. That seems to be the only new thing, really.
Okay, cool. And that leads us to Coswalla. Tell us about level 2. What do you got?
Hit points.
That's it. You just got hit points. That's the only thing.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. Do you want to roll for
Should-
him? Did you take half?
Channel Divinity. Isn't that like a cleric thing? I'm not positive.
No, when
Get
I was
that.
going through it, it didn't look like I mean, I got to pick one extra spell.
I think that's comes with level 3.
No, I thought Channel Divinity was something that got isn't it?
That's what I thought. I thought it was early. I know that you get something level 2.
Because it
Yeah,
comes with your
Druid-
domain, and it depends
Druid
on your
is the one that
domain,
gets
and you don't
screwed.
pick your domain till level 3.
Yeah.
No, you
So
pick it level.
Yeah, Channel Divinity is level 2, and Divine Domain feature.
Okay, then I'm wrong. I apologize.
God damn you, Mike. No.
An extra spell at first level. Now you have 3 spell slots. And, yeah.
So Chris, in that case, what do you want to share what you took for like Divine Domain, or have you picked it yet? What do you got?
The Forge.
Forge.
Right,
All right,
right.
Cool. That's right, because
That's
you're
level
you're
1.
Cleric of the Forge. That's right. And then do you like if I remember, because I was like a cleric dual class at one point, that like at certain levels your Divine Domain gives you stuff beyond like turn undead. Does Cleric of the Forge give you something at second level? Just you gotta wait until you get something else.
No, it starts right away. I get the blessing of the Forge.
Okay.
At the end of a long rest, I can imbue magic into a weapon or armor by touching it. A non-magical version. Until your next long rest or you die, the object gains a +1 bonus to either AC attack and or attack and damage rolls.
Yeah.
Holy shit. So every time you take a long rest, you can just choose to give a +1 or a +1 and +1 to damage to either anything you're holding or something.
Yeah, so conceivably, I mean, depending on the situation, I could take my AC from a 19 to a 20.
That's what I did.
So I'm not gonna lie, I hate you. But yeah, all right. So we'll figure that out as we go. Freaking walking tank, awesome. Hi, my name's Codswallop. I'm just gonna walk in front of everyone because no one can hit me. Just
Hence
keep
the
going.
name.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Wallop my cods. All right, we will.
Hey, let's be fair here. You've got a whole goddess on your side, so I'm not.
Yeah, listen, that's true, but I'm not going to throw the goddess at you just yet because that's not fair. But
For
the,
every eventually.
so interesting fact because I was doing some reading, sort of like outside scope of the game, but also inside scope of the game. So Oral had a domain that was in. It was actually considered part of the Beastlands or the Wildlands, which TJ, that's where when you nearly died in the Barovia game, you got that like glimpse of from like the cliff face and the cave mouth looking out over it before you got like ripped back into the material plane. And so what's interesting about that is that like Oral actually had an area of like perpetual winter there, but during the Sundering and during like this like really bad breakup between the gods of chaos and herself, specifically because of Umberlee's distaste for her and her freezing of stuff, she got ripped away from that, and that's one of the main driving reasons that she's making Icewind Dale this like new Winterlands, like her new sort of domain on the material plane. And I didn't know that prior to doing some like background reading this week about Oral, and so I wanted to share that because I think that kind of fleshes out the world a little bit more. Like it's like when somebody gets ripped out of their homeland where they're most comfortable, they seek to make wherever they go to a little bit more like home. And so unfortunately, when you're talking about gods, the gods don't give a shit about what they just do what they will, and so that's what Oral is doing here in the Icewind Dale and the frozen north. So interesting stuff. But as a recap, last week you guys accepted a mission from a very frostbitten dwarf and her friends that hailed from the Battlehammer clan. They had been accosted by a Yeti, and one of their compatriots had had his head and, as you discovered, several limbs ripped off by said Yeti during a blizzard. You went back to grab the sled full of many iron ingots from the Battlehammer clan mines, and it wasn't there. So you followed some tracks, you found some goblins, you battled those goblins, and by battled, fucking decimated them. Before I think that maybe one gotten one hit off. Actually, I don't even think that's true. I don't think any of them hit any of, or if they did, it was minimal at best. One of them did manage to blow a horn, signaling someone or something that you did not have any interaction with. But some of you thought about that before you decided what to do next. So there are other forces out there. You brought the sled back to Bryn Shander. You were all rewarded with a gemstone worth 50 gold apiece, as per the agreed price. And you were also told that should you need to outfit yourself, that you should go to the Black Iron, a smithy that is here in Bryn Shander, and that because of your help, that they will spread the word of what you've done for the Battlehammer clan dwarves, and that you can expect to get a discount should you need to purchase anything. All of you having lived in the Icewind Dale region for some time know a couple things about Black Iron Blades. One, they're a decent shop, and they have most things that a standard adventuring party might need to get. Attached to Black Iron Blades, in fact, in the same building is actually an adventuring supply shop that's run by the sister of Garn. Garn being the guy who's the blacksmith. Garn's sister, Elza, runs the sort of like tackle shop that has the stuff and things that you might need. Chris, you had said in a message to everybody that you were for potentially more winter gear, more this, more that. This could be a spot to get that.
Okay.
As a
I
reminder,
sent that message just to you with what I was thinking about trying to do. I added to that and said that it might be good if somebody doesn't already have one to have like a cooking pot, so that with the snow you have a way to have a ready supply of water.
Oh man, just when I thought I could dehydrate you guys, somebody's coming up with ideas. But that being said, so that's one thing that you can do. Another thing that you can do, because I know that money currently is a finite resource, is remember that Scram Sacks at the Northlook does offer to provide you with gear. But I think one of you had made either an insight check or intelligence check and knew that his racket is effectively to charge you some pretty extensive interest if you're late. Like if you come back, it's a small amount, but if you're late by any sort of measurable time, he immediately starts putting interest on, and then potentially has the way of forcing you to pay, or creating a scene of some violence, maybe. What else did we discover? What else did we think about? Several of you have received some missives or some contacts from me during the week to try to like flesh out some stuff. So some of it you can feel free to talk about. Some of it you want to hold your cards close. That's fine too. But I'm gonna say that you guys wake up. You kind of come downstairs. You're in the look. Haruna and fellows were so appreciative of what you did. Not only kind of paid for your lodging and drinks last night, but provided a breakfast. And as you guys come downstairs, Scramsax, who's already up and they're like kind of behind the counter, nods towards you and says, "Just take a seat, and I'll make sure you get your breakfast." And kind of like yells back in the kitchen to get some bowls of porridge and some coffee. So, what do you guys want to do?
Well, now that I have some cash, so to speak, on hand, I need to find a healer.
Okay. If like, are you asking the group? Are you like asking the DM? What are thrown out there?
I'll see if I can't catch Scramsack's ear and ask him for where our crew would know where one is. So.
Says, "What's wrong with you? What are you, sick? Do I have to kick you out of here?"
It's girl issues.
Oh.
That's how you shut down.
And like all of a sudden he's like, "Abril, get out here!" And like you see this sort of like coquettish young auburn-haired woman come out. Her hands, like she's got like an apron on, but it's like covered in just sort of stains that clearly have been washed in a while. And he just goes, "Abril, talk to her!" And like he just turns around and walks away into the kitchen. Like, "I got stuff to do." And she's like, is everything all right?"
I just need the services of a healer.
Like bandaging or something more severe.
Something more severe. Just need the perhaps a cure disease or something like that.
She says, "Oh, all right. Well, I would suggest that you should probably go to the House of the Morning. You've been here long enough. You know where that is. And obviously, I mean, like in right now, there's a map up of Bryn Shander that has many of the spots in Bryn Shander labeled. And so the House of the Morning Lord is labeled there. And it is, I think we had talked about it briefly, is a shrine or a temple to the god Amaunator. Amaunator. Amaunator, however you want to say that. I'm going to call it Amaunator.
We always called it Amaunator. You're an otter, I'm an otter.
You're an otter, I'm an otter, we're all. So
Sally.
She suggests that to you as like probably the most like pristine place to go in the city. Like, there are some kind of shady shrines. There are some like random things here and there. But if you're looking for some definitive healing type magics, that might be your best bet.
And then I'm going to.
She's like, I wish you luck, and I hope that you feel better, especially since you've already helped 10 towns. It sounds like I can only think what future things you might do. So don't die. And then she turns and walks back in the kitchen.
Okay, then I'm gonna kind of slip on out of a side door.
Are you telling anybody that you're doing this, or sort of piecing out?
Just piecing out.
All right. Anybody in the party who wants to give me a perception check can give me a perception check. And if you don't want to give me a perception check because you don't care, that's fine too.
Hold on. It's loading. And... crap, what's my thing? Where is it? Character? That one. So it is an 14.
14. Nope. No, you wanna roll a stealth, or you?
Sure, I'll roll a stealth since I'm trying to be sneaky about it.
Okay.
Sorry, I don't have it up. What happened?
He rolled 17, so I did not
Okay.
notice.
Okay, I feel like you kind of like feel the cold wind of the door closing that Nova Cree just walked out. But as that happens, Zahir kind of like walks down the stairs and burps and farts. Is like, "Oh, breakfast!" And you guys are like, "Oh, you're up. That's great." And so, yeah, she kind of pieces up. What are the rest? Nova Cree, I'll deal with you in a moment. But like, what are the rest of you?
Sorry, I'm back.
Admiring my new bloodstone.
Just sitting there, holding it up, light glinting off of it through.
So,
I'm planning on heading off to the adventuring the smith and then for gear and shit.
Black Iron Blades.
Yep, that place.
all right. I inform Loki of my plan to talk to some people down, probably by maybe the docks or something, trying to get some info on something.
Okay. So in Bryn Shander, and I'll bring you like attention back to the map.
Oh, yeah.
Bryn Shander is
We're in the
basically
middle
a
of the
city
land.
built on a hill. So like if you want to try to go to eggs or even like go to like a different series of like taverns or whatever and gather information, by all means you can do that. But as far as docks, Bryn Shander is one of the few towns in Icewind Dale that is not next to a body of water.
Yeah.
It's like its own encapsulated thing.
So what I would do is then I would ask if there is anything around where I could find any fishermen, I guess would be my question.
So Scramsax in sort of like brutal honesty is just like, you go to a different town. That's how you find out about fishermen, because you're not going to here.
Okay. What
Is there something specific you're looking for about fishermen, or are you just
I just have a
looking
question
to
for
give your tackle box a jingle?
Tom. I just have a question. What
Sure.
town are we in right now? Are we in Brimshander?
You're in Bryn Shander.
Never mind then.
Yeah, I feel I know why you're asking that.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
you do.
So I think I won't do it right now, but I will pull up a map of the 10 towns that everybody can look at in a few minutes.
It just sucks that they only have so many letters to choose from.
26. Keep using the same one. Just do it. Do it.
Yeah, I don't do that, and so yeah, I'm okay with heading to maybe gear shop or something. Maybe I might split off at some point, like you said, to maybe get some information from places, just to gather general stuff.
One of the things that I want to share, because I shared this with Mike earlier, is in the center of town. So I'll click on the map, like right here in the center of town. There are actually a series of 5 or 6 taverns that are right around the middle of town that, like, when Bryn Shander is like in not in the midst of an evil deity's icy grasp, are usually pretty popular. But they're all kind of shitty dive bars that if you want to go in and sort of like ask around or whatever, you can by all means go in there. And one of the things that you on the rumors table to see if you can find some information out. But the reason you guys started at the North Look was because nobody wants to hang out in those taverns and nobody wants to sleep in them unless they want to get frostbite while they're sleeping. So the North Look is like the best, not those places in all of Bryn Shander, which is why you guys started.
The best, not those places. I like that.
Yeah. Hey, is your place good? Well, it's not those places. All right, well, I guess it's good then. So, okay.
Sounds like a certain event that's been happening this year.
All right, so people want to go to Black Iron Blades. People want to go do Morning Lord shit. Peter Danklage. What, apart from just sort of staring at your stone, is there anything you want to do, or what are your thoughts for today?
Did the veg ever already leave? Did everyone ever already leave?
No.
No.
So far, Nova Cree's not there, but nobody's really noticed. Aveg and Codswallop have had a discussion, I'm going to guess, about going to the Black Iron Blades, and you're still staring at a stone.
What we talked about during the week about like leaving a message under a table in a tavern. I did that. Are we cool with that?
Yeah. I feel that you have been kind of doing that, but if there's something specific you want to do right now, let's do a quick private chat and we can have a conversation about it.
Okay.
All right. Kevin, is this something I... Oh, shit. I just went back.
Just don't touch it. Jesus Christ. He asks for permission for this stuff as he jumps back into the wrong channels. It's like, just, I got it. Fuck. Just DM. You're doing good. All right?
I can just see it in my hey, Kevin.
Yeah. It's like, so we'll have to do a private chat, and I'm like, yeah, obviously I'm already jumping on that. No, I didn't yet. Right.
I'm exhausted. I'm ready to go to bed.
You and me both.
What was that?
I was just agreeing. I am totally ready for bed myself.
No.
Sucks getting old.
Yeah. Yeah.
After I take my Geritol and
But you know, getting old is better than the alternative of not getting old.
It depends on who you ask.
Well, yeah.
I'm sure there's plenty of people who would rather see me not get old.
Oh, yeah. But I was talking about your opinion of it. They don't have to deal with achy knees on you. So I don't give a shit what your opinion is of me, lady. If I can have your fucking good knees.
All right, everybody, we're back.
Thanks for the warning.
You are welcome. All right, so we've got two things that we've got to deal with. I think that because the largest amount of you, and TJ, if you want to choose to do something different, then so be it. But since the largest group of you are going to Black Iron Blades, we'll deal with that first. So everybody finishes up their breakfast. So, you know, you have a meal, you got some hot food to stick in your gut as you walk out into the sort of the frigid wasteland that is like the streets. And if anybody's ever had a chance to go to Chicago, great city. I know that like we're in the world of a pandemic right now and nobody's really traveling, but Chicago's a great city. But if you go to Chicago in the wintertime, they call it the Windy City because the goddamn wind will cut through you like a fucking knife. Like it hurts. Like more so than walking around Boston on the water. And I have spent many years in Boston. Before I went to Chicago, I was like, this is nothing. And then I went there and I walked around the city for Sarah, my wife, was in a conference, and it was a fun city, but you walked outside and you're just like, holy crap, that hurts. So that is what's happening as you step outside of the North Loop and start making your way to the Black Iron Blades. The wind whistles, howls even. Everybody else wrapped up just as much as you guys are. Just, you know, like trying to keep as much of that bitter cold off of them as possible. So you trudge through the snow. It crunches gently as you're walking through, and you get to the Black Iron Blades. Outside of the Black Iron Blades, there is a wooden placard that hangs, a tavern sign almost, that's got two swords, very simple design, crossed, and they are sort of, the wood is burned to make them black, and it's blowing gently in the wind, kind of creaking on like these chain stanchions that hold it in place. And as the door opens, you hear this gruff voice that's like, come in, shut the door and stop letting the hot air out. Not that the place is warm at all. However, there are bellows, there is a forge, and for a little bit of respite while you're there, there is some much needed heat. As you come in, you see a middle-aged dwarf, so probably somewhere around 200 to 250 years old. Gray mustache, braided into a beard that comes down, but only sort of a goatee mustache. The rest is shaved off. Top of his head totally shaved. And throughout the store, it looks a little junky. Like it looks like there's just like stuff and things everywhere. But you see that there are like racks on racks on racks, and that this guy is just it just looks like he's like, today I'm going to make a long story, tomorrow going to make a glaive, and then who knows what I'll make next. But I'm just going to keep making it and put it on shelves until people come in and get it. And each one of the weapons has this sort of like smoky, greasy, telltale, dark blackness to the blade. It doesn't give it any enhancement or anything, but it's like how this guy puts his sort of like signature on each piece that he makes. And as you were told before, his name, some refer to him as Garn the Hammer, but mostly it's just Garn. And I'd like everybody, because you're all locals, before you get into this little RP session, to give me an intelligence check.
Oh,
Everybody who's there,
really?
I'd say. Listen, AC at 20, shut up. Give me an intelligence check.
16.
16. Okay. Everybody else?
You don't need me to do it 'cause I'm not even there, right?
You're not there, right? I'm sorry. So TJ and Chris, 13. All right, Chris, what'd you get? You probably crushed it with a 20, didn't you?
17.
17. Okay, I'm sorry.
17.
Like I don't have that particular thing open on the
Yeah,
screen.
no worries.
Right.
I got you.
So TJ, you know that there is some ill repute about Garn's services. Like people, like you have heard in your travels and in your connections, like some I don't like some negative like feedback. You know, like the Yelp reviews weren't that great. However, Codswallop and Aveg know that like sanctioned sellswords or like people that are like, you know, like combatants that have been around for a while have a kind of go-to statement that says that weapons made by Garn have an unfortunate amount of times shown up in the hands of dead adventurers. In the case that it's maybe the blades aren't that great, or maybe there's just something that, you know, they're just not fancy enough to fit the needs of those who are of service or who want to kind of show off their panache in battle, kind of thing.
It's a weak
So-
mind that blames the tools.
You know, maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. Or maybe there's some substance to this. But both of you know that there are rumors around town that like whenever a dead adventurer shows up, that people who have been around for more than a hot minute or probably had one of those black blades in his hand, didn't he? But that being said, Garm kind of like looks up and he's like, get in, close the door. And as you guys close the door, he's like, oh, I was told there'd be kind of more of you than this. And I'm gonna assume that Zahir's there with you. But he's like, I thought there was one more. Doesn't matter. Welcome to my shop. Please take a look around. And Haruna has already had a conversation with me and let me know that you're to be given the best treatment I can offer. What do you guys do?
I thank him and start to take a look around, see what they might have.
In a mechanical sense, anything that's in the player's handbook, as far as weapons go, are in this shop or is in this shop. Garn also says, as he notices you guys start to look around, he's like, please notice that through here, and he kind of like moves his hand, there's like a red velvet curtain that he pulls back and kind of hooks off to the side. And he says, if you go through here, you'll see that my sister has a bit of a gear shop set up. And if you're looking for, I don't know, snowshoes or winter gear or fishing lines or whatever you might need, it's probably in here. And she'll give you the same break that I was willing to for the help to Battle Hammer that you've provided. And then you see this equally kind of middle-aged dwarf. She's got kind of blondish hair, some silver streaks through it. She does not have a beard, whether shaved or she just didn't. And she's sitting behind a chair, and it looks like she's working on making a fishnet mat. Like they'll take heavy fishing lines and sort of weave them together to make mats for kicking off the snow or whatever. And so she's got this jig on her lap. She's working on putting it together, and she's like, "Please come in and look." And like her side of the shop is way more organized. And there's sort of like bins and little buckets and drawers, and like everything's labeled, so it's much easier to find them there. And so for her side of the shop, I would say that anything you're looking for that is equipment related, that is either cold weather gear based or is in the player's handbook, again, the PHB, you will find it there, and thing that are on either side of the shop, you will get a 10% discount on.
After these services I need, I don't think I'm going to have a problem not affording snow.
Well, we'll deal with you in a moment, McCree, but for right now, for the rest of everybody, and I think that what we'll do is when Daryl's able to join in, if he's got kind of a wish list, we'll basically just fast forward. Like, as long as you get the cash to get what you need, so be it. That being said, think about what you'd like to do if you haven't already. I have to take a quick be right back, and I will be right back.
Yeah.
All right. I think might just grab an arcane focus if they have it.
Wait, is this just the straight up blacksmiths? What page was it?
150 and 149. I think it's like
There's a blacksmith, but they also have like a general goods.
so I think it's like 149 for the blacksmith and 150 for the other. I imagine we can check it, obviously, but
Yeah, the one thing I can't find, if somebody can point me in the right direction, I would appreciate it. Is specifically cold weather gear.
You can just go to your equipment on D&D Beyond, go to manage equipment, and then search and just put in cold, and it's going to be the top one. It's clothing, cold weather. As far, it's 5 pounds and it costs 10 gold if you needed that.
Oof.
All right, I'm back. And I caught the very end of that. So yes, and I think Chris, you had asked about this, and maybe you had missed it when we talked about the two options with regards to dog sleds and sleds. Is that a dog sled itself costs 20 gold, and that a dog costs 50 gold. And the more dogs you have to pull a sled, obviously the weight that the sled can pull, and the longer the dogs can go without having to take a rest. One dog can pull for an hour and then has to take a short rest. If you have two dogs, they can pull for 2 hours for a short rest, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
I just remember I just didn't remember what the costs were.
Yep. So it's 20 and 50. The other thing that you can do is you can rent them from Scram Sacks or other sort of like, if you guys like in Boston, they have a rent a bike thing where you can rent a bicycle, take it from one place and drop it off at another place. The sleds, many towns offer that basically if you're going to rent a sled for a day or 2 days, you pay the fee and then you drop it off the next local stable, and as long as you do it within the time frame, you're not charged interest or anything like that.
All right. I have a thought process on this. If we're looking into stuff, maybe not get the dogs just yet, but maybe if we wanted to invest in the sled so we can drag that around based on just having something for just large things that we might have to move.
I want to give you two other things to consider. One is if you're dragging a sled, it will hamper your movement. So if you're already moving at half a mile, you'll probably move at quarter speed or a quarter mile if you're dragging a heavy sled, because the sled itself weighs like 300 pounds. It's like a big steel sled that can carry lots and lots of weight. That's one. Two, I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm just letting you know. The other thing to consider is, or the other two things to consider is, one, crampons are a thing. I think they're like 2 gold a piece. Well, not a piece, but like for a set of crampons, which will allow you to move on ice and other surfaces without having like disadvantage or what is it like not rough terrain. What's the word I'm looking for right here? Difficult terrain. Thank you. I'm like, yeah. So if you have crampons and there's ice, you can treat it as just standard terrain, and difficult terrain. So that's one thing to consider. And then the other thing for moving faster is there is always the ability to rent or purchase axe beaks, the chocobos that we had talked about, and they go for 50 gold a piece as well, but they don't need a rest. They can basically go for like 8 hours because they're carrying someone, and it's less weight than the sled and other weight and stuff like that.
All I envision right away is sorry, once Codswallop tries to get on his, and it's just the scene from Robin Hood Men in Tights when the big lady calls Broomhilda and then goes to jump down on her horse.
Just bellies out. Yeah.
So yeah, what's the upkeep on those guys?
So basically they need to get like fed and sheltered periodically. Obviously they need to eat the same as basically you, so you would have to carry rations for them. The birds are kind of omnivores where they will eat meat or grain or whatever. So like as long as there's stuff to give them for food and water, it's good. It's good enough. But it would basically mean that like if you have a ration that's good for a day, you would need 2 rations if you were going to be out so that it could eat and you could eat. The other thing is that once you're back in like a civilized area, allowing them the ability to be in a stable lets them basically recoup better than not. If they're out in the wild, I mean, they're domesticated wild animals, so they can survive. But that's like the way that you do the upkeep. So you'd have to pay for like a stable fee when you're in a town.
All right, cool.
And for general, it's probably a couple silver. I'm going to say it's probably like, unless it's a ritzy town or it's a shitty town that's going to like try to rob you, it's probably going to be somewhere between like 5 and 6 silver to like board the animal for a day or 2.
Okay, cool. Are there arcane focuses in either store?
Yeah. Roll an investigation check. It's a good use of an investigation check. TJ, you're looking, so roll the investigation check.
All right. Skills.
13.
13. Elsa like notices you looking because you're kind of not coming up with anything,
19.
and she's like, "Oh, hello. Is there something I can help you find?"
I rolled a 19.
Oh shit. Well, okay, so you're helping him with this. All right, fair enough. I had a quick idea that I was going to do, but it's fine. So with a 19, she comes over and she's like, "Oh, you're looking for arcane focuses. I don't think we have." And that's when Aveg is like this, and produces like this this sort of mirrored ball. Like it looks like it's glass, but it's made of something more solid than that. So if you drop it, it's not going to break. And as you look into it, it looks like it's got all these facets throughout it, almost like ice when it starts to crack, and you can see the striations and lines and veins through. And but it's not cold to the touch. It just looks like this orb that you can hold in the palm of your hand, and you're like, "Hey, would this work?" And if this is acceptable to you, Crotch Cannon, then by all means you can use this as a arcane focus, and then whatever the cost of an arcane focus is what Elsa will charge you for.
What is this considered, an orb?
Yes.
Crystal?
So like a handheld orb, basically. If at some point you wanted to try to like fasten this to like a staff or a rod or something, it could easily be done.
Are there any staffs and rods here?
Give me an investigation check, and if you're both looking, both of you give me investigation checks.
20.
Also dirty.
Fucking A. I'm like, DC 20, they're not going to hit that. Sure enough, there is a small rod that looks kind of like a series of like live edge pieces of wood that have somehow been fused together. So like if you think of like like think of a piece of tree that the bark has been shaved off, but rather than being straight, it's all wavy. There's like several bits of that are all connected, whether it's by glue or some other magic or some sort of fastener that you can't see, that has a small pocket at the top that this orb would fit in. The rod itself does not grant any specific bonuses or whatever, and it's just like it's sort of a trinket. So like it's going to cost like maybe like 5 or 6 copper, but it will easily accept the orb and will be able to be wielded as a rod should you want to focus with that.
I can get this for 5 or 6 copper.
Hold up. The rod you found, 5 or 6 copper. The arcane focus is the cost of the arcane focus.
Okay.
I am confused because that's the same thing.
So in the book, arcane focus has 5 different options: crystal, orb, rod, staff, or wand. And I was also looking for an arcane focus. So we are looking for 2.
Hold it. So yeah. So if you want, so in that case, I will retcon this. Yeah, I will retcon this. If you want to take the rod that I just described as an arcane focus, then you can take that as an arcane focus, and it is as an arcane focus. If you want to take I thought you were looking for a way to hold the orb that wasn't just in your hand. So that's why I threw that out there. But if that's what you're looking for, and that's cool, you could take that.
So there's only one rod.
Yep.
So
there really you found the 2 options that were there. I mean, you could roll another investigation check. Tell me what you get, and maybe there's one more, but probably.
Yeah, because I was just heart set a little bit on staff or wand, so I'll throw it out there. If not, I can go with the orb.
Give me,
Yep,
know what? Give me
4.
one more investigation check. What did you get?
That's a 4. So.
Okay, yeah, no, and then TJ, give me an investigation check.
That is a 6.
Yep, no. So the only 2 things that you can find, and the only thing that Elsa remembers, because as she's talking, you start to get the feeling she's a little bit of a space shot, are the 2 things that you found. So you found a rod and you found an orb. However, she says that if you're looking for something specific, please let me know, and if you give me a few days, I might be able to find things. You never know what's in Brinshand or towns. Constantly swapping stuff and things for everyone. That sounds like a great name for a store. Stuff and things. I wonder if anyone's ever done that.
Probably not. That's a super original. So.
God damn, you could.
All right. I think if you could find me maybe a wand, I think that's kind of more my style.
She asked if you're looking for something specific. Like the DM is totally on board with coming up with unique things to describe to you. But if you're looking for something specific, let me know what it is.
Do you want dragon?
How specific do you want me to be?
Unicorn hair.
But yeah, I mean, if it's like one of the
wait, are you looking for a wand too? God damn it!
It's like, well, now
No,
I am.
I'm not looking for a wand.
If I can go to the wand store and have them tell me what thing I should get, whether it's dragon or phoenix or whatever, awesome. But no,
For an arcane focus, no. There's no.
Nothing in particular.
Wand store
Just
for that.
a wand that is pretty sturdy and that sort of thing.
Okay, she says, "Oh, okay. Well, let me see what I can do." And is there a place I can get in touch with you? Like, is there someone I can reach out to if I find one?
Yes. I just forget the name.
You could say let's Gramsack at the North Fork.
Yeah.
If that's going to be sort of your base of operations.
Yeah. because that's what I was looking for. I'm just gonna forget his name, so I'll have to write that down.
It's such a dumb name. Like, it's a character that is literally in the lore of Icewind Dale in Brinchander, but it's just a dumb name, Scram Sax. It sounds like somebody who plays the saxophone just sucks at it and gets told to scram all the time. That's all I can think of when I see that name. But anyways, so you tell her, and she's like, "Oh, very good. I'll try to see what I can do for you. I'll get back to you really soon. Maybe. Okay. Does anyone else need anything? Are you looking for anything?" And then, actually, like, obviously, like, if you guys want to take those as arcane spell focuses, by all means. And then again, whatever the cost is in the player's handbook, multiply that by 0.1%, and then return that a negative, add it to whatever the price is, and that's what you get off. So that's the total.
Vej, why do you want this? Or these things?
Don't I need something like that sometimes? Or
Yeah.
do I not
Does a
have it?
bard require
Do you have an
an arcane
instrument?
spell focus?
Yeah,
I think your instrument is your spell focus.
Typically, it's considered a spell focus if you have an instrument.
Alright, well,
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, shit. So Nova Crew, does that mean that, like, when you dual class into, like, your psionicist or whatever, that your instrument could be your focus? Does that work that way?
I think so, yeah.
For the bard spells that
I just like the idea of, like, a musical instrument creating, like, psionic effects, or like like, it's just like, what was the character
That's like
from
a bad '80s cartoon.
well, no, what was the character from Sentinels of the Multiverse, the Ardent Adept or something like that, the guy, like, the green guy that had, like, the lute and all the other shit? Like, Kevin, you remember that guy, right?
I don't remember exactly. No.
That's fine.
I do remember, because there were some times where I put some stuff together. We had, like, so many things stacked up because of that guy, but I don't remember exactly.
Anyway, so it just all of a sudden my brain was like, "Oh, this is really cool." So and actually, as a question, for the two bards that are in the group, what is your instrument?
Typical, I think.
Loot.
I think I went loot.
So two lutists.
Yeah, I was thinking of going something else, but it's just, sometimes unless I might have gone flute. I think I may have changed it.
Got a lutist and a flutist.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Potentially.
All right, is anybody else? So, Chris, I know that you were. Is there anything that's, like, a little out of the ordinary that you can't?
That I can't find in the player's handbook? Maps, a saw, and a compass.
Okay, so a compass, I'll say that you can get for, you know what? Roll an investigation check, and I'll tell you what you can find there.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I got a 5.
All right, pick two of those items. They're there. Which two do you want?
The maps and the compass.
Okay, so the compass you can get for, I'm going to say, like, 5 copper. It's not a great compass. It literally is just like a copper circle that's been hammered into place. You can still see the hammer marks on it. But sure enough, there's a needle that points north. And as you sort of move it around, it continues to point. So it's true. So you can get that for about 5 copper.
I put
The
a
maps,
figure of
Elsa says, "Oh." You put a figure of what? What happened?
I put a picture of the figure for Novakri in the general chat channel.
Oh, I want to go check this out.
Yeah, I did see that. That's. I was gonna say, that's ridiculous. That's awesome.
I gotta. Yeah, that's pretty nuts. It also looks like you're stitched together.
Well, that's just the
I know, like the hide armor or whatever, but
Yeah.
that's cool.
and the red hair. I'm kind of proud of that red hair look.
Well done, well done. So, Chris, Elsa says, like, what? Well, what maps of where? What are you looking to find?
Complete maps of Icewind Dale?
So she will provide for not much money because I've been providing them to you. So for I don't know, like a couple. I'll say 1 silver. She will provide you the maps that I've been providing you. You don't have to deduct the silver because when you guys want to see where stuff is, I'm showing you on the maps. So you guys, I will say that because of
What is the difference? I'm
robotically
looking at it
farming-
going, from a role playing perspective. You showing us on the maps is equivalent to us remembering it, but to have the actual maps there, so I could jot down notes or whatnot. And
Yeah, no,
'cause
no.
I do have like cartographer
I'm gonna
skills.
say that no, understood. I'm gonna say that like you have access. And it's a good point. Like maybe it's something that like I should have thought about for like a price tag or whatever. But because the adventure basically says that you guys are familiar with the area, I'm gonna say that like either you guys collectively have maps of most things, or you have maps of most things. So don't worry about maps. I mean, if there's a specific location that you want to try to find a map for that you might get like a quest or an adventure to later, you could come back and talk to her about it. But
Okay.
if it's as far as like the layout of Icewind Dale, the 10 towns and what the 10 towns look like, you've got that, so you don't have to worry about spending money on it.
Okay.
So okay, anybody else looking for anything? Anybody going to shop with Garn, looking for a specific weapon or something along those, or maybe like a better or a backup weapon?
Does he have a magic helmet to go with my spear?
He does not have a magic helmet.
So I can't run around
He
being Bugs
is
Bunny?
willing to. You know what? Like he says like, listen, lad, I'm willing to take on whatever bit of custom gear you want me to make, but if there's more material components involved in it beyond just the pure steel that I do, and then turn black, aka blackened blades, I'm gonna need a little bit of money in order to get the pieces you want. So in mechanical terms, if you guys want like a +1 something, there's going to be a cost to it. And if that's what you're looking for, we can go back and look, because the DMG does provide a component for that for something. I just don't have it in my head.
Yeah, I think that's going to be more expensive than we can afford right now.
Oh yeah,
my
no.
opinion.
I'm like, it's beyond your price point now. You have a crafter that's willing to make stuff for you if you want him to. It's just
If you can pony
there's
up the dough,
a
he'll do
cost
it.
associated with it. Exactly. And he'll do it with a discount, right? So like, let's say like the cost of like a great sword, I don't know, 10 gold. I'm making up, and to make a +1 is 500 gold, so it's 510. He'll do that with a discount for you. So you're gonna get a +1 greatsword at whatever that comes out to. I don't have a calculator in front of me, and I'm not gonna do it. I didn't use tens, so not gonna do it. But that's something to know, and that's a definite boon that you guys got out of that first quest that you guys did. All right, is there anything else you guys want to do with Black and?
Are we keeping track of arrows?
Yeah, I forgot. I wanted to get some
Yes.
of those.
So
Okay.
how many? I remember that
what I want to do from now on is that at the end of a battle, every arrow or bolt that you fired, unless it's like a natural one or like you're firing up in the sky over like a lava pit or something, keep track of what you fire, and at the end of the battle, roll a percent. I'm going to have you roll a percentile die. If you roll high enough, you'll be able to reclaim everything that you shot. If you roll low enough, or it's basically going to be this: if you roll a 75 or higher, you get everything back. You get a 25 to 50, you get half. If you roll a 1 to 25, you get. that's going to be your recovery rate for bolts, arrows, javelins, shit like that.
Got it. You said last time that the goblins had some arrows. How many arrows did I get from them? Because I remember I shot 2.
Yeah, we also have
I'm gonna say that if you want, by the way, you have gear that you can sell.
5
too,
scimitars and 5
if you
short
want to.
bows, I believe.
Yes,
in
and I
addition
think
to
that in
arrows.
5th edition, the sell rate is the same as the rate in the play handbook. I don't think the DMG says there is a discrepitude to that. I don't even know if that's a word. A discrepancy to that. Like in other versions or other games, like if you sell something, it's only worth like 25% or 50% of what it is.
You might.
For first level encounters, you guys can get full value for the weapons that you have. And as far as arrows, I'm sorry, TJ, I didn't answer your question. As far as arrows go, each one of them had a quiver of 20 arrows.
20 arrows? Oh,
And I
like each
think
or something like that? Okay.
Yeah, and I think like only 1 or 2 of them had a chance to shoot. Most of them attempted to just attack with their scimitars. So if you want to grab an additional quiver, whatever,
Yeah.
it's available to you. Like I said on episode 0, though, keep an eye out for encumbrance. Just keep an eye out for that, because if you're on a sled and dogs are pulling it, you're trudging through the snow, encumbrance or weight is a factor.
It's our weight and the weight we're carrying.
Yeah.
Another thing with like buying and selling, one of the things I saw, and I haven't looked at it for a long time, but it intelligence checked to figure out how much your character thinks something's worth, and then charisma is like how successfully you can sell it. So
I think yeah. So I've read those rules. I think that's good, but I think they're good for magic items and items above basic level. But like items that are just of basic level, for sake of this adventure, especially with the sort of hefty cost that some of the overland travel stuff has, it makes the most sense that if you guys took the moment to grab that stuff up and drag it all the way back to town, that you would get max value. I think what I would say,
given the situation.
I'm cool with that. I'll take max value.
If you guys want to, that's fine. But for this one, I think that once you start hitting further level, if you bring back a goblin scimitar, I'm going to be like, that's a piece of shit, and you're only going to get a little bit of value. But for where you're at right now, I think it makes more sense for you to have cash. So that's why I'm.
Yeah.
So easiest way to do it in that case, for those just weapons, we've got 5 people and 5 scimitar and 5 short bows, which are 25 each,
and 5 quivers of arrows.
Yeah, so even because it's 50 gold for those, just anyway. 50 gold for a scimitar and short bow. So if everyone just wants to get 50 gold, that would be an easy way to divide it.
I think that's perfect.
And then Daryl is the other 50.
Yeah. The only thing to remember is Nova Creek doesn't know money yet.
Yes, but she is aware that we were going to be selling those when we got a chance.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
Don't mischeck me, Kevin.
Yeah. Nova Creek, we sold them and we only got $2 for them. Sorry.
I bought you these scratch tickets. Here's $3. I scratched them.
There's a couple scratches. You can
only redeem them in this weird, hellish place called Massachusetts.
At a corner store. Yeah. So
can we add
down
that
the packy?
At a packy. Good call. By the way, I think TJ and Kevin know this story, but did I ever tell you guys about the time that I used the Tufts Medical School down in Boston for my dentistry, because I started using them several years ago. I didn't have dental insurance, and so every 3 or 4 years, the dentist who is a dental student, graduates, and I get another one. And so I had this young, very sort of outgoing Pakistani girl as my dentist for a couple of years. And so we were talking one day about the thing, and I was telling a story, and I said, yeah, so this, that, and this was going on. Stopped into the packy to grab a couple beers, and she looks at me and she's like, what did you just say? And I said, I stopped into the packy and grabbed a couple beers. She goes, what does that mean? And I went, and I had to stop because I'm like, I don't know what else to call it. So I stopped into like the general or corner store, and she goes, oh, all right. And I said, I don't understand why, what just happened? And she goes, so I'm Pakistani, and to be called a Paki is like, it basically borders on like being a racial slur. And I went, whoa, no,
Well
that is
played.
not what I was doing right there at all. Yeah, so I was like, I'm from here and stupid, so you should just keep that in mind at all times, please. Before you drill holes in my teeth, just keep that in mind at all times. I'm here, I'm stupid. So, but yeah, something to know, something to just know, to keep in mind for local colloquialisms and unknown racism. Just awesomeness. But anyways, all right. So you guys can do that. Each of you can put that 50 gold into your collective wallets, as it were. And is there anything else that you want to do in that store? I mean, obviously deduct the cost of any stuff and things. And actually, they do have, I should say this, they do have crampons if you want to invest in those. Those do cost 2 gold for a set of crampons.
What's that?
Those are the you
Look,
don't trip on ice.
Yeah, so crampons are basically like
No
something you
longer
can lace on
difficult
your shoes
terrain.
that put like spikes underneath, so that like if you come across icy terrain, you can walk across it as normal. It's not difficult terrain. Yes.
Are we? Can you use that with the snowshoes?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah, actually, if you come across icy terrain, you'll have to change foot gear, because like snowshoes on ice are basically like wearing giant ping pong paddles on your feet, and they'll just slide around, be very unwieldy. You'd have to. It's like if you're ever driving through the mountains, the 18-wheeler stop and change and put chains on their tires. These are things that you throw on. But generally speaking, icy terrain is only in the mountains. And you would know, like, as the DM, I would be like, as you continue up the mountain or as you come around the base of the mountain, you notice that the terrain has changed to ice. Like, it's not something that you're suddenly going to be like, oh, you're on. It's not
So
kind of like if you're skiing and you're like, ah, sweet, I'm in powder and like, trail. And then ice. You'd see it coming.
So, when I sold the whatever the short bows and stuff, I said, and we'll take 5 of those. So everyone gets 48 gold and a thing of crampons.
Perfect. Good. Well. I think we have a group accountant. Awesome.
So is that a group account or 48 gold each?
48 gold
Yes,
each.
48 gold.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm just doing the math. You guys take care of your own shit. But you each get a crampon and a 48 gold.
All right. All right. So you guys are sort of what you're dealing with in that store. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut over to Novakri. Mike, do you want to do this privately? I want to do this so people are semi-aware. Totally up to you.
I mean, it's going to be a.
Well, if you want this, like it's up to you. If you want to keep secrets, I mean, secrets are secrets. So, and like you slipped out, no. So if you want to do private chat, we can do private chat. If you want to do it so people know. Like back in the day of before 20, and I would play like every 3 months with my buds. When shit like this would happen, you'd grab the player and go like stand in the bathroom and shotgun a beer while you fucking described what was going on. So what do you want? If you want public knowledge, we can do it. If not, then we can tell the players that.
And they can fucking talk amongst themselves and figure out if they want to do it in private or public.
Now I have one more question, I guess, for us of buying things. Silvered weapons. Never. Wait. I just read you can silver a single weapon with 10 pieces, 100 gold pieces. Never mind.
Holy shit.
It's not even a question anymore. I was like, hey, oh yeah, silvered weapons, and now I read that one and it says 100 gold, so never mind.
That's like 100 gold. That's so much fucking silver.
I wonder if they have studded leather armor here. That'd be
Well,
pretty
yeah.
neat.
Oh, yeah, shit, fuck. Going back.
I call
Yeah.
it.
45 is, that's reasonable.
That's doable. And then
That's
10%
doable.
on that. Definitely. That's a catchphrase for all bartering. And then it's only, 40
Yeah,
and
well,
half a gold.
and then
piece.
if you're trading in your other armor.
Yeah, I mean, I would just trade it that way. I mean, I was thinking that I was going to have to say goodbye to this gemstone,
Yeah.
the bloodstone. But if we just got all this gold, I'm gonna get rid of the gold
Yeah.
because that weighs shit.
Right.
So get rid of the gold. I'm also trying to figure out what I can get rid of being a halfling. It's kind of funny that small creatures are the strongest creatures in the game just based off of their weight. It's like you weigh 40 pounds and your carrying capacity is 4 times as much.
So you jump just just like insanity heights, just because you're none amount.
Yeah, if I didn't get below average strength, like if I didn't have a -1 to it, it'd be pretty good. You make a halfling barbarian and you're like, dude, yeah, you're the strongest being because based off of your size.
Do they have pixies in 5th edition yet?
Yeah,
Perfect. Just max out
tiny
strength.
creatures. I don't know if they have it as a playable race. If that's what you're saying. But I know
Oh,
that
yeah,
there's
that's what I was looking for.
monsters. Yeah, I don't know if you have. I don't think there's any playable tiny races yet, but I don't know what's in Tasha's. So
Yeah, I don't know if there's anything like that.
all right, strength
What's your AC right now?
15.
So how do you get the extra well, what's your dex at?
4 plus 4.
Right, because I'm only at +2. Even though that's my second. Because it's an odd number, right? Yeah, I'm at 15. 15 dex and 15 con. A lot of odd numbers. It's rough.
Yeah. So I'll have to ask about that. Besides that, I think everything else is good. We have to get that pot for Chris.
Yeah.
No, I was just suggesting that that you guys might want it because I don't need to eat or drink.
Oh, that's true.
But having the cooking pot around will be something to melt down the snow to make a viable source of continuing water.
What's your size? Let me look.
I'm big, but it's still I considered medium.
Does it say anything about counting as one size larger?
No,
No,
not what I read. No.
because I'm like I am close to being over encumbered right now, so I'm trying to figure out what I can get rid of.
I
and
can
then
carry
maybe
it.
give to the group.
I mean, if somebody wants to get the pot so they have it, I don't mind carrying it. I've got a
Yeah.
lot of encumbrance to go.
I'll buy it. In that case.
I was just simply making a suggestion that you guys might want to have it.
Yeah.
I can make a bonfire so we can just melt snow. It works out.
Yeah. All right, so I'll get that. So that's going to be 80.
Class. You can. This class feature you have is like strange. The Artisan's Blessing. Like it doesn't have any prerequisites for like in having some kind of material beforehand. It says you can use your channel divinity to conduct an hour-long ritual that crafts a non-magical item that must include some kind of metal. So I'm guessing that you need to buy metal.
You'd have to buy the components that you would need to build whatever it is that you were putting together. So if you were trying to smith a suit of armor, or if you're trying to smith a hammer, or whatever it was that you're going to do. So you would need the material components for that.
Interesting, because there's...
At least that's my understanding of it.
Yeah, and that's what I'm just trying to figure out, like, what would you, like, I guess that's up to Tom to figure out, because I can't find anything about material components here. Mounts and vehicles. I mean, there's trade goods of, like, different types of metal, but those are all for, like, melting down gold and stuff. And the, like, weight of liquid, weight of...
Oh, okay. I was looking at the wrong thing.
Trade goods. Like, I don't see any... I'm trying to find, like, you know, just... I want to buy iron and leather. And then, if you were to do, like, this ritual, then... What else does it say? You conduct an hour-long thing, ritual that crafts non-magical. Suit of armor, 10 pieces.
So this, metal equal. Like, it sounds like it's the same thing as buying, but you can just do it somewhere else, right?
Wouldn't it? Because wouldn't it be cheaper or something like that?
Well, you
there's
still
nothing about.
You must lay out metal, which with a value equal to the creation. So it's like, oh, I'm spending the same amount.
I don't imagine it'd be spending the same amount, but it'd be what you would need for the materials. Because if you're buying something, generally you have you know, if it's going to fall along with real life, that you have the markup for them to be able to make a profit over what it costs them to actually make it.
Yeah, but then it's like the thing you create can be something that is worth no more than 100 gold pieces.
Right.
So it's like you would have to.
So you can't make like plate mail armor with it.
Right.
But it doesn't mean that you have to buy 100 gold pieces of metal to do this. Like, that's what I'm saying. There's no...
I think that's going to wind up being the discretion of the DM based off of, you know, where you are and what you have available to you. And, you know, like if you were playing back in the old Dark Sun campaign, you know, metal would be scarce. So it would be far more expensive than it would be for other materials.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Is it doesn't even really say that you need materials to do this ritual. Like it's almost like it comes out of nowhere, which I understand there would be like that as the DM that Tom might have objections to that, but like I don't see any.
Well, in the thing it says, as part of this ritual, you must lay out metal, which can include coins with the value equal to the creation. So it's like,
Is that on the book? Because I don't see it in
yeah, page 19.
I don't see it. I don't see it in Beyond.
Oh, I
That's
wonder if
why
they
I'm
might have
confused.
changed that then.
That's what I'm confused because it it doesn't make sense that like the way that you're reading and meaning that it's going to be equal. So if you put 25 coins of like metal, then you can make something that's 25. It's like it's.
Right. It's just like, well,
I would
I
just
could
as
just
well
buy it
just
too.
buy it. Right.
It's do I get a benefit? No, but you have it. So like if I didn't buy this before, I could make it if there was metal around. I guess. I mean, unless it's like you can just use any sort of metal that's just around.
Well, you want a gold sword? That'd be pretty neat.
All
Yeah,
right,
but gold is
Minecraft.
flimsy. Why would you want a gold sword?
Yeah, but it's blessed though, even though it's not magical. I don't know. Putting
It's
layers
like
on there.
this.
That's
This
not
one's
fair.
blessed. What does that mean?
It's
It's that meme where like the third and fourth panel are just the face, and then just the eyebrows are angry in the fourth panel.
Am I skipping over it? You conduct an hour-long ritual that crafts a non-magic item that must include some metal.
Yeah, so it can't be all wood. It can't be whatever.
Like
and
it
it
does,
has to be smithed.
right? I mean, it doesn't sound like you can make leather armor for me. And I mean, maybe studded because there's some metal there, but it's not made of metal. I don't know.
Reinforced with close set rivets or spikes. I mean, sounds like it. And if that's the case, we're gonna be making 2 of those. I'll take an extra 1. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, they did change. Okay, hold on. Yeah, you. Oh wait, no. It says you must lay out metal, which. Does that mean that you can just change your money right to like?
Yeah. It seems like it.
So it's not. If you use gold, it doesn't necessarily that the item that you craft is actually made of gold.
Right.
It's just that's
you
just.
fucking transmute it too.
All right, that's pretty neat.
What's that? That's 45. So.
Because that could be helpful if we just lose something and it's like, well, we have all this gold here and we're in the wilderness and we can't do anything with it right now.
Right.
And I have no items.
It is something that like allows us to change that into something and just do things with stuff. We'll just have to look into what the most ridiculous things under 100 gold are that we could make out of metal. We're in the middle of a snowstorm and all of a sudden you just fucking like create a fort.
Of chain shirts.
Just like I was thinking almost like a earthbender like tent where they just go like the 2 bricks but it's just metal. You just Full Metal Alchemist. It's just like, all right, give me an hour. All right, we're good. We'll be fine for a bit.
Summon some metal sheets, yeah. Makes sense to me. All right. What can I get rid of? Would you mind carrying the 2-person tent? Because that is 20 pounds. That is half my weight.
Also, I got the pot, so that's another 10 for you.
Yeah, I can do that.
2-person tent. Even though I can't remember if I rented this or not. For the price, I figured that we would own it, but I don't know. So we might not have it anymore.
What is
Pretty
it?
sure I'm pretty sure I deducted 2 gold from it. No, it looks like I
Well,
paid
we also had to take the 2 gold for the snowshoes. I don't know if
No, I know what you're saying, but like I got the 2-person tent on that mission.
So you did get it?
I mean, I put it in my inventory and I paid what that said, but I also want to make sure that it's all good with Tom, and I think he said to rent it. And I think he said to
Well, we were looking at it. I know because when you said it, I was thinking of getting one too, and it's like, it's just 2 to buy it. So, but he explained that it was something where you might not even want it because of it's not gonna really be helpful necessarily.
Yeah, he was saying that you're better off digging like a ditch
trench.
as opposed to getting caught in a blizzard and then getting buried.
I mean, we still used the tarp from it anyway. We probably would have been buried in it regardless. I don't know. I don't know if I watch enough survival videos to say that I actually know.
I know I definitely don't.
And I know my character doesn't either. So that's the important part.
Also, I have, as part of my starting gear that I didn't get rid of, I have a water skin and a 1 day's worth of rations that I don't need.
Yeah, I'll split the rations.
So like I said, I don't mind carrying it around until somebody needs it, but I'm not going to use it.
You might have 10. Uh, 10 things of rations.
One day, 8 pounds. I think we started with 5. Because I only have 1 missing. And that's when I ate during the snowstorm while we were waiting for it to blow over.
This is what I was talking about with making that.
You just made it?
Yeah.
Because this is exactly what we were saying. Fucking NPC. I got string. That's cool. 10-foot length of string. Found in the burglar's pack. These tools. I don't need a tinderbox anymore.
Oh wow. I don't have a lot that I'm carrying. Good. All right, TJ. If there's only one studded leather, who would it make sense to have it more? You or myself?
I'm gonna come up close. I'm gonna be in close combat sometimes, or at least I intend to, even though I just doubled the arrows I got.
That was kind of why I was leaning maybe towards you versus, where mine's only at 13, it'd bring me up higher, but hopefully that doesn't become an issue.
I'm not going to lie. I thought you guys had decided to run your own combat sequence, and TJ was like, I'm going to get up close in combat. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening? I thought I was running this game.
We're robbing the blacksmith shop. Nova Cruz.
Oh, sweet.
You'll still get your 48 gold, though.
Give us a discount, and then we're going to rob you. Awesome. Anyways, all right. So when you guys wrapped up with the black blades or the black iron blades, what did you guys do? Or did you head back to the tavern, or did you have a goal, or like what were you doing?
Well, I was gonna ask one more thing about what they have in stock. Do they have studded leather?
So you notice without having to make a check about this, there is no armor in this store. There are weapons.
God damn it, Lucas.
I am going to contribute to the Yelp review. 1 star.
Which means he just goes outside and starts yelling.
All right, so as you go outside, you're like, hear ye. As you go outside and you're like, hear ye, this place sucks. If you ask, he's willing to tell you that there are armorers here in Bryn Shander that you can find. But the Black Iron Blades, as their name suggests, only makes weapons.
Oh.
So you've never heard of the...
Shit, man, that's all you had to say.
You've never heard of the Goblin publication Whelp?
The Goblin
Clearly not.
Nope.
Yeah.
Horrible joke. Sorry.
No. It took me a second.
So
Yelp.
And did it. So if you're gonna go, so your goal right now, TJ, is to go find like an armorer, or what are you doing?
Yeah, that'd be good.
All right, so give me an investigation check.
Okay. I'm investigating to find it in town.
Yep.
Can I ask they didn't point me in any direction?
Well, I mean, I'm basing it on the fact that you were like, I'm walking outside and yelling bad shit. So, I mean, if you wanted to ask, then sure. But if you're walking outside and saying this place sucks, then they probably won't tell you.
I mean, that wasn't canon. I was just saying, that was the joke. That there's no Yelp either.
I'm just fucking with you. So if you ask,
that was me too.
Garn basically says that I know of a few armorers. There's one near the center of town, basically like in the buildings here. There's one that's sort of like general armor. There's one that's over here, over by the West End, that sits by itself. That is very high end. almost like a couture armorer, and that there is additionally an armor here called the Iron Well that's right next to one of the city's wells. That's right here. That's kind of mid-range.
I would like to give my bloodstone to Peter and say, hey, if you can find one, get me one too. Because I have something I'm going to be doing this separately. Hi, Daryl.
Okay.
All right.
And before we get into that, Daryl B, aka Zahir, has joined us. Ho!
Hey guys, move!
Daryl, we have a Daryl Z. I'll call you that, or Zahir D, whichever way we want to go to it. ZD, that's cool.
DD's good.
Two things.
Dizzy's fine.
One is
Holy
Dizzy.
echo.
How about Zizzy? We'll call you Zizzy. Anyways,
Am I echoing?
what? No, you're cool. You're cool.
Okay.
What do you want to tell us about Zahir level 2? And secondly, do you want to roll for hit points, which means you roll, I roll, you take the higher of the two, or are you just going to do the standard take half in your con bonus?
Let me see. So half is 5, plus 3 is 8. Yeah, I'll take that. So 18 hit points.
Wait.
I roll a d10, right?
Yeah, you roll a d. So you roll a d10. Well, no. So it's either 5 and 3, so it's 8, plus whatever you were at, or
10.
you roll a d10, I roll a d10, and you get the better of the rolls plus your con bonus.
I think it's actually half plus 1. So like it.
No, it's plus your con bonus.
No.
It's,
The if you take the regular one on a D10, it's 6 HP, not 5.
Oh, really?
Because
You don't get, you
it's
don't get
1
your
or
full
10,
con bonus?
so that's 11. So it's 5.5. So that rounds up to 6.
Wait, so you don't get your con modifier when you get
No, you
your
do.
health?
It's
Take the half?
6 plus your con. It's not 5 plus your con.
On
a D6.
So the rule is half plus 1 plus your con.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that. I didn't
In the
know. I thought
book,
was
it
just
gives you
half
the
plus your
average.
con.
So D8 is 5, D10 is 6.
Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna lie. I feel disappointed. I really thought that like Daryl was gonna be the wild man, and then gonna get like because of just luck was gonna wind up with like an additional like 16 hit points or something.
Okay, I'll roll it. I'll roll
Oh
it.
shit! Hold on.
So here comes 4 hit points.
Hold on. It's a D10.
this
All right.
this
That's okay. Yours is the only character that we kill in these games anyway, so.
That's fine. So
All
I
right,
rolled a
so-
5.
I rolled an 8, so you get 8 plus your con modifier.
That would be 3.
about to say this is the Bryn Shannon
So 21.
my beer.
So 8 plus 3 would be 11. Did you
Right.
already have 10?
Plus the 10 I had, yes.
Well, yeah, but it should be 10 plus your con modifier, right?
Oh, in that case, 13. So 24 hit points.
Nice. So there you go. So your cut and kill bucket just got that much more stronger. I'm a little disappointed. I really hoped that I'd roll a 1, but instead, oh well. But anyways, all right. So is there anything else cool that that Zahir got at level 2 that you want to share?
No, he just kind of gets more hit points. Fighters don't really get anything at level 2
All right, fair enough.
that I saw.
Everybody, everybody who was at the Black Iron Blades, and Daryl, you were definitely there with everybody.
Oh,
You want
yeah.
to fill him in on what he just got.
You got an action
He got
action
mugged
surge,
in the
by the
alley.
way.
He lost all of his money.
Perfect. That's how I do it.
Well, you know what? Listen, if your other PCs want to kill you out of stuff, I'm not going to step in. But if anybody wants to inform him. But Daryl, I also want to extend to you that the Black Iron Blades provided the opportunity to spend cash for weapons that were in the player's handbook if you hadn't had the chance to buy one, and also equipment that is in the player's handbook. If you were looking for something that was beyond that, or a +1 weapon or whatever, you could talk to the people that were there, Garn or Elza, and for a cost, they could probably find what it is that you're looking for. And then I'll leave it up to the rest of you to tell him how that plays out or what that looks like.
So you got a crampon, which
Not
is
to be confused with tampons.
Fair enough.
That's a thing
They're
that
sharp tampons for your feet.
goes on your feet. And then you got 48 gold from us selling the weapons.
Score.
Other than that, anything you buy, stuff.
And so Daryl, if you want to like just look at that stuff, like if there's something else your character wanted that fits within that, we won't go back and deal with it right now. I'm just going to say that you have it, but just deduct the cost from it.
Within 48 hit points. Gold pieces. Gotcha.
Yes. You're not deducting hit points, but gold. Yes.
Can you pay in blood?
Can you
only
pay
hope.
in mana / blood? Anyways, so all of you, aka Aveg, or Aveg, I should say, Coswallop, Zahir, and Crotch Cannon. What do you do when you leave the Black Iron Blades? And by the way, low-key, that's the last time I will say that, but I wanted to give it once so that Daryl heard it.
How channel works. Down.
What are you guys doing? Are you going to go somewhere? Are you heading back somewhere? What are you guys doing?
Trying to find the armorer.
Oh, okay. So, so I had told you that he kind of gave directions to 3. One was roughly here, center of town, kind of like low end. One was over here that was like couture and high end, and there was one over here by like the well that was kind of like that was probably the best, but was also pricey. Maybe not as much as the couture one, but was also pricey.
And he's not sure which one would have studded leather.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. He's confident that you could find studded leather at any of them. It's just the quality that you would find is basically best quality, highest dollar, what you would expect from most, and shitty Shambo.
Like his
Which
stuff.
means you could probably get it at a price, but there might be some problem.
Okay, I'm just gonna go to the one near the well.
Okay, so middle of the road. All right, so you go in there, and as you get there, there is a sign outside that says, that basically says, "Armor or get out." That's the sign it says. And as you go in, as like, is there anybody else with him or just him?
I'll go with him.
Sure.
All right. So you guys all walk in, and rather than like the gruff greeting that you got from Garn as you walked in, this time you just hear this voice that says, "Do you have money? Or should I just get the local police?"
Do you have armor?
You have money.
And all of a sudden, like this sort of like this half elf that is very regally dressed comes out, and he says, "Well, in that case, Ardelane wants to talk to you." And he points right at you, Loki, and he says, "I heard you speak. What it is that you are looking for, and how can I best outfit you?"
Wow.
Looking for some studded leather armor.
He says, "Are you looking for standard, or are you looking for upgrades?"
I guess standard might be all that I can afford, but if I can look at the upgrades too, that'd be pretty nice.
And he goes, "Oh, a man who knows his price range. Most appreciated."
If I
And
can
so-
interject something here. This
Well, so
remind-
you're not there, Nova. You, I didn't like. You're still dealing with your own shit right now.
No, this is an outside, out of character. This reminds me of a scene from Queer Eye for the Elf Guy.
So I will tell you that it's not as bad as that show, but it's interesting. There are some interesting things happening.
I'm glad I have adults with me.
Sorry, that's just popped in my
So
head.
yeah, so he's like studded leather. Let me see what I can find. And
The stud and stud leather.
he basically pulls out like a very standard suit, and he pulls out another one where the studs, rather than being like little, like, you know, like crushed bullets kind of thing, or bumps, are actually like these like, I don't want to say sharpened spikes, but they look like these like sort of shaved things that look like they're little pyramids coming out. And he says, "Do any of these catch your fancy?"
Ones that have spikes? Yeah. Look at that one. So what do I... Does it look like I would damage people if they hit me?
So he says, "Oh, good eye." He says, "For these, it's purely superficial. But if you are willing to part with more money, we can make these definitely something for a more, how should we say, painful hug."
How much money are we talking?
He looks at you and he says, "So as well, for standard armor, I would charge 50, but you're a small one. Not that there's anything wrong with it. I would charge you 25 more gold. But should you ever grapple, hug, or throw your body at an opponent, you will do an additional d6 whenever that strike, grab, or miscellaneous hip check occurs."
And then, so this would happen if they were to grapple me as well.
He goes, "Oh, correct. Most assuredly." And he says, all of a sudden, he's like, "Samantha, bring out the beta model." And you see that rather than this sort of like burnt umber brown leather armor with like studs or these little like things, he brings out this like sleek looking, shiny, oiled black leather armor that has like these points that come out of it. Not big enough that, like, you know, like if you're having a beer, they're gonna like catch and like make you dribble all over yourself. But they're like on the shoulders, they're on the face. They're not on the back. They're just on the front. So like if somebody were to come up behind you and like bear hug you, they'd still get hurt because they kind of press against it. But you could lean against a chair and not, you know, rip apart a cushioned seat or something while wearing this. But it's all on the sort of like abdomen, chest, shoulders. And he says, "You'll notice too that there are a few on the lower side." And he's holding the thing up like almost like a fashion show. And he's like, "You'll notice there's a few on the underside of the forearm too. So should someone grab and you need to turn your arms inward, more spikes, more fun. Just saying."
I'll have to take 2 basic studded leather.
He sighs and he says, "Too basic with just like, you know, the buttons or the not so effective pyramids?"
Well,
Holy snooty.
Oh, can you only imagine what the couture shop would have been like if you went there?
I'm trying to figure this out because he said based off of my size that he would do this, but I was also picking up armor for a veg as well.
So if you're buying armor for a medium-sized creature, you're a small creature, correct? Or are you a medium creature?
Yeah, I'm small.
You're small, right? So for a medium creature to apply these effectively like battle thorns or like barbs or spikes or whatever you want to call them, it's 50 gold. But because you are small, he can do it, or he can craft armor, or maybe he even has it already, that would only cost half that, so 25 gold. So it would be studded leather armor plus 25 gold, and then you have armor that anytime anyone ever grabs you, or that you grab, you do 1d6 damage to.
But is that worth my bloodstone?
I don't know, is it? I love to imagine a world where Codswallop is just grabbing a halfling and throwing him at people because he's going to do at least 1d6 damage whenever he does. But
I like
that's
how
me as a DM.
You explained it as if you throw yourself into something, and all I could think of is, or if he's thrown, or if he gets thrown, if somehow he is just projected. That
Like I don't
Basketball
want Loki
special?
to die. Yeah, I don't want Loki to die. But how amazing would it be if Loki died and you just kept him as a weapon for the rest of the adventure?
Dude, he would get stronger as we leveled up because his rigor mortis sets in.
It's
And he
hilarious.
becomes a
It's just
stronger
adding
club.
strength. Oh.
And he never thaw out.
That's right. You could just leave him frozen
You're the worst
outside,
snowball
and then he
ever.
just frost
Just
damage.
embalm him.
Snowball with spikes.
Just embalm him. He'll be fine.
All right. So, in all seriousness, now, like, because
gonna-
at this point, TJ's like, I don't want this.
I'm gonna leave the party.
But
No, I'm already.
I've got 2 bloodstones to my name, so
I'm hearing ideas that I need to put in my will. So
so
I
listen,
did
I'm not
legally
gonna lie.
binding.
This is definitely some like homebrew shit. But in other versions of this game, this has been a thing that you could do to stuff, and I love the fact of like custom craftsmanship offering you things. So
yeah, I know.
what do you want to do?
Dwarfs have something like this. So I'm sad to see the bloodstone go, and then I'm gonna get gold back for it. But that that works. So I'm gonna get 1 basic studded leather.
Okay.
And I'm gonna trade in my leather armor right now, so that's 10 gold. And that one will be medium, and then I'll go with this spike one as well.
Oh, he's like he is overjoyed, and he's just like, oh, I love it when I make a sale. I will make sure that this is perfect for you. Do you enjoy the oiled black, or was there a color you were looking for that was much more specific to your tastes, sir?
The oil black is fine.
This is excellent. And so he's like, Samantha, make it done. And like he claps his hands, and you hear this voice in the background that's like, oh goddamn, okay, I'm on it. And so it sounds a lot like Maud from the Girls, and you're like, what the fuck? What is going on? And so and within like a few moments, alterations are made, whether they're spellcasted or whatever, and you, sir, are now in possession of an oiled, studded black leather armor that has spikes on it that you can sit in chairs and not rip them apart. But should anyone ever grab you, or should you just decide to turn yourself into a cannonball and go chest first, you will deal damage.
Or if you are voluntold to become a cannonball,
So
forcefully against your will.
or if
What
a
is-
guy tries to sneak up on you, and you attack them, and then they take a quick nap because they're all tuckered out because you're not wearing hockey pads.
I'm just well. So one of the things, like this is not of the same level, but one of the things in Forgotten Realms that exists are these dwarven ragers that wear spiked armor that they hone all of the spikes to like razor points. And what they do is they just run into battle waiting for someone to grab them. And then they just wriggle around, like they just start whipping their bodies around, cutting into whatever grabs them, because that's what they want. And then they like, when that bleeds enough that it dies, it jumps off and it's like, starts running at the next thing. They're lunatics. They're like, what is it called? Not fanatics. They're
Berserkers.
frenzied berserkers but they don't carry weapons. They're just covered in spikes, razor sharp spikes, and that's what they do. So
just to go over this one more time, that costs 75 gold.
So studded leather armor costs 50.
45 in the player's
40.
handbook.
So 45 plus 25. So, what is that? What is that total?
70.
70. So 70 gold. That's what that costs.
I have to say goodbye to my fucking bloodstone. God damn. That's fine.
I feel like you're getting something pretty cool.
I am, I know. It's just that I was admiring it. That's how I started this game, and it's like now it's.
All right, so now I have a question. Since he's got spiked armor, if I was to do the blessing on him, does that give him a +1 to AC and a +1 to damage?
Oh my god.
I'm not gonna lie. Like as a DM, I want to say no. As a player, I'm gonna absolutely say yes. So it would be 1d6 plus 1 damage, or if he threw himself at somebody, it would be up to whatever his attack bonus would be. And the other thing to think too is like if you want to sacrifice yourself and fall 60 feet, every 10 feet you fall is a d6 of damage with an additional d6 because of your spikes.
Now, does it have to be voluntary fall?
Things to think about. Like if there's ever
if
a
gravity
way
makes
to like
that decision, then yes, but otherwise,
do it.
I'm asking about the initiation of the fall.
Like wait, like he chose to or not? What do you mean?
Well, I mean, does it matter who makes the decision of whether he falls or not?
I'm just saying, I don't think gravity waits for consent.
Well, no. What I would say is that like if somebody shoved him off an edge, if he falls 60 feet within a round or 40 feet or whatever, I think it's your movement race for
500.
fall. Yeah, well,
You drop 500 feet in a round.
So like if he fell more than what is it?
500.
No, it's less than that because there was I listened to a Matt whatever his name is from Critical Role.
Mercer.
Matt Mercer. You fall less than that, or you know what? I'm not going to argue about it. We'll look it up at the point. But if you fall less than what that total amount is, you would have time to react because it would be more turns. So, but we can look it up and figure it out, or maybe we never have to figure it out.
Yeah,
at all. But,
hopefully we're not.
So if somebody
falling
pushed
to our
him off
death
an edge,
this turn.
yeah, if somebody pushed him off an edge and he fell before he had time to respond, he could fall on his back and do no additional damage. But as a falling object, he would do damage. But if somebody pushed him off something, whatever, and he had another round to react to it, or it happened before the end of the round, then there's a chance that like he could turn around and be like, spiky death. So,
well, I mean, this is just academic because we would never do that to a party member.
We won't?
No, I said you should never. I didn't say I have never.
I'm not gonna lie. So Kevin, when we first started getting ready for the adventure, Kevin was like, I want to be an artificer, and I was like, cool. And now all I can think about is if Kevin had been playing an artificer, and he talked to the goddamn walking robot and was like, hey, can I design a chest cannon for you? And by chest cannon, I mean something big enough to fire a halfling that's got spiked armor on it. Like, that's all I can think about.
I would be all
that's
in.
all I can think about right now.
I would be all in.
Well, I mean, yeah,
So
when you put it like that, fuck.
So listen, these are pipe dreams for another day. But for right now, so TJ, you have one suit of studded leather, you have one suit of your spiked that you've got. Where is everybody going right now? Meeting back up somewhere, or what's happening?
I'm heading back to the inn.
The North Look? Okay.
Yep.
Everybody else, what are you doing?
So I sent something on Roll20. I sent a message to you.
Shit.
So that no worries. Just to have it there, if you could just take a look at
Yeah.
that.
So why don't we do a private chat?
Cool.
And we'll get that done pretty fast.
Yeah.
All right. So your noble chat, is it tied Is it investigation? What?
For just getting there, it's something where it's like the thing itself is like I'm able to. People are inclined to think the best of you. You are welcome in high society, and people assume you have the right to be where you are. Common folk make every effort to accommodate you and avoid your displeasure. The
Perfect.
other people of high birth treat you as a member of the social sphere. So I wanted to change like my face, and change into some fine clothes.
Okay.
And kind of just go in as like a different personality and try and get information as a
So if you look at Roll20 right now,
yep.
you realize that within Bryn Shander, there is like there are two compounds. I'm sorry, there are three compounds that are specifically hoity-toity. There is one right here.
Okay.
There's one right here, and there's one right here. There's an
so
additional
fancy.
one up here, but this one looks like it's mainly like livestock or like garden tenders or something.
Yep.
So like these three that I'm pointing out to you all look like they're of some level of relevance. And before I reveal anything about them, I want you to tell me which one you want to go and like do this to, and then we'll deal with it.
Need to find where. Okay, here it is. So I'm going to 1, 2, 3. So the middle one.
Did I lose you?
No, nope. I'm just muted. So I was trying to find my phone and I was rolling for it. So I'm choosing that middle one right there.
The one right here. Okay. So that middle one is actually the like the town hall. Okay.
Yep.
And so because like everybody knows this that's been in Bryn Shander for more than a minute, knows that the leader of all of Bryn Shander is somebody called the Speaker Duvessa Shane. Okay? We don't have to spell it out. Duvessa Shane. She's a human and she speaks for everybody here, and I would say like 80 to 85% of everybody feels that she represents the people. Like she's not like a demagogue or something like that. Like she's somebody that's elected that people feel confident in, and that's like her thing. But where you chose right here, this being like the town hall region, you realize that there's like lots of bureaucracy going on. Like there's like the Office of Tax Collection, there's like the office of like what pets are allowed, like what familiars can and can't come. You can't have a demi, like a Dracolich as a pet kind of thing, or you have to pay enough money for it kind of thing. And so in this building, you're in the sort of like central bureaucracy of the town. And so you walk in, and what do you want to like accomplish in here?
I honestly, in real life, have no fucking idea. This is like, it's funny. This is something where my dad thrives in that situation, and I go, I don't even know where to fucking start. So this is where I like definitely have to just like rely on like my character to like kind of see what's going on and just.
All right, so like you come in, like you kind of like wash your hands over your face, and you kind of take on this guise of middle management, where like you've got a suit on, you've got this, like maybe you've got like a scarf, and everybody kind of looks up and they're like, oh, hey Bob, like you look so much like everybody else in management. Nobody says anything, and as you walk in, you find yourself in this sort of like foyer. For those of us that aren't fucking French, foyer, where it's the main entryway, where there's like these two big staircases that lead up, clearly going to bigger and better things. There's a central like desk, sort of information, like where to go, who to talk to, kind of thing. And to the left and the right, there's like maybe like the comparts or compartments of business. You feel like to the right, because there's a little scent to it, maybe that's like sewerage and like dealing with shit. And to the left, on this base floor that you're on, this like marble tiled is like maybe that's tax, like square up with the bills. You got 3 cows, you owe 45 like copper. Oh, you didn't pay that. We're gonna charge you another like 3. So now you owe 7 copper or
You know
something
what?
like that. That's what you see in front
let's
of you.
go,
What do you want to do?
Let's go check out taxes. See if there's anything that they've had any sort of people that they've had issue with in town with taxes and anything that might be like, hey, need any help with
Okay.
the situation?
So you go. So you head towards taxes and give me a perception check.
So I think that is an 11.
That's enough. You see this like battle scarred dwarf. I mean, like not just like when she turns, like when you catch up like a glimpse of her face and you see a scar across her face. Like her hands have marks, and she's got her sleeves rolled up, so her hands have marks. And you see that like this. If you've ever seen anybody who's missing bits and pieces, no matter what they're wearing, it's obvious, and you see this. And she is like, she slams her fist down on this, counter window with like that sort of half glass of "Don't spit on me" and "Don't come talk to me." And she just goes, "I want a bounty hunter's permit, and I don't understand why it's taking this long. I've got reason to believe, and if I'm doing good for this town, I'm doing good for all of 10 towns. You give it to me." And the woman behind the counter is like, "Ma'am, I understand you have a valid point, but if you don't have the credentials, you cannot be a bounty hunter, no matter how many times you brought bounties in before. I appreciate what you're doing." And she just kind of throws, she's like, "Gah!" and like turns around and starts storming and kind of is walking towards you.
So if that's the case, I because I feel like I want to say something here.
Pierogi! That doesn't make it.
I feel like I want to talk to the person behind the counter, but I think I might ask, what's the problem? Is there anything the matter?
So you're asking the person coming towards you?
Yes.
And so the person coming towards you, like sort of battle scarred dwarf who has like a hatchet on her like hip and what looks like a battle axe on her back, kind of rather than like like the standard like sword and dagger like axe, very centric person. She stops and she looks at you and she says, "You've heard about the murders, haven't you?"
I haven't.
She says, and she kind of scoffs and she says, "Bryn, nobody knows about anything until it's too late in this. You know about what we do here to make Oral happy, right?" And as a person who's been here, she's clearly seeing the fact that Bryn Shander, as well as a couple other of the 10 towns, provide human sacrifices to try and appease Oral and her like her wintry madness, and so I mean, like, you can respond however you want, but you get the gist of what she's saying.
Yeah. But I'll still kind of play dumb and please enlighten me exactly. Maybe I'm missing something. What is it that?
Yeah. So she looks at you and she's like, "Listen, there are only 3 towns in all of 10 towns that provide human sacrifices. Bryn Shander being one. The others are... Fuck, I'm not on the page. Sorry.
Yeah, but there's other 2.
Oh, I have it. All right. The others being Eastham and Targos. And that's just because they have the populace for it, Like, I mean, like when you got people in prison that are there to die and you can just throw them out there and get them sacrificed, and maybe Oral doesn't do as bad things to us or like lock us in ice again or snow, that's what you do. I totally get it. Like, I'm not saying that this system's bad. What I'm saying is there are people who are fucking with the system and cheating it. And it sounds like somebody is evening the playing field. So in East Haven, I don't know if you know this, but I take this personally. There's a dwarven trapper showed up dead. In Targos, a shipbuilder, human, lots of them, whatever, it's on the lake, dead. Here in Bryn Shander, another dwarf, dead. Starting to have some problems with this. You know why I'm having problems with this? Each one of these 3 people stabbed through the heart with a blade made of pure ice. Some people are saying it's oral. What I'm saying is, I've done enough tracking to know it's somebody acting for oral. And I know his name.
Interesting. And what brings you here?
She looks at you for a second. She
Like
says,
this particular building.
She says, so in Bryn Shander, you need a license to be about. It's the only one of the 10 towns that you need. And she like does air quotes and goes, you need a license to get someone. That being said, I don't think Sefik is here. I think he's somewhere else. I also think a little bit beyond my means, and I need some help.
Well, I certainly know of some people who might be able to help you. You should try and head down to, I'm going to say the inn that we...
Yeah, it's the Northlook. The Northlook.
Northlook.
She says, listen, are you part of that crew? Are you capable?
I know their capability. I am not specifically part of it, but I know their capability. Go there, ask for Loki or a Veg, maybe Codswallop. You'll find them. You'll definitely notice the big one.
So she catches your arm and says, listen, son, I've been around long enough to know when people are playing games. Sefik Calto, person who's playing Oral's personal vendetta missions throughout the 10 towns. Now, maybe it's because people are, dodging the lottery. And Kevin, that the lottery is that every 30 days or so, everybody has to reach in the satchel and pull out a chip if they're in town. And if that chip is the black chip, then they're potentially the one that's going to get sacrificed to Oral. Maybe it means they're burned to death. Maybe it means they're killed. Maybe it means they're just stripped of clothes and sent out. But for 3 of the towns, East Haven, Targos, and Bryn Shander, that's what they're doing. Other towns, they put out food, they put out whatever. But for these 3, that's how they're trying to deal this sort of Oral's wrath that's going on. And as she grabs your hand, she just says, listen, I could walk over there and I could say the same things to you. What I'm going to say to you is, if you and your friends can find, and she's holding on her arm, you can find this person and bring him back to me, 2 things are going to happen. 1, there's going to be a lot less murders in 10 towns. 2, I'm going to pay you 100 gold because I'm going to collect the bounty after the fact. But no questions asked, and you don't have to get involved in that, which is only going to get messy. And 3, I can provide more information if you have if you have something else you're interested in. And so that's what I got to give to you. And she lets go of your hand and she says, if you take this up, you can find me here again. She goes, and if you don't, maybe I'll find him. But Cephalic Caltro works for Targos. And if you need more information, come back and talk to me. And if you don't, find him and deal with him before any of the authorities know. And she kind of like holds your hand, like kind of, and then lets it go and says, "See you later, bye," and like kind of turns and walks away.
And she said she doesn't think he's here.
She's like she says he's no longer here. The last victim was found 3. There's no way he's here anymore.
Okay. All right. When she was shaking my hand or
Wait.
whatever.
She does say one other thing. I forget to. Sorry. She does describe Cephalic as being someone that dresses in almost like southern weather gear. You know, like just like the lightest of clothing. Has these glowing blue eyes and seems to be totally impervious to the effects of winter.
No, fucking perfect.
All right. Back to the chat. All right, everybody, we're back. Welcome. All right, so everybody rejoin at North Look Tavern, which, you know what? For shits and giggles, why don't we just put you guys back in the North Look Tavern, bitches?
Oh, just for you, I uploaded a picture into the chat of the piece that I used for the Coswallow character with the equipped, in this case with the equipped halfling launcher.
So first of all, you are not there yet, Johnny's second level. Second of all, I can't imagine a greater scenario than this. I have one fist to punch and one fist to shoot halflings. Amazing. All right, so you guys are back here in there. What do you guys do? Also, just in case no one told you, Daryl, you are you basically have access to like any basic level weapons or armor that you want, or basic level items. And I think people told you that you have a set of crampons at this point, but I don't want you to not know that. Can people still hear me, or am I just...
Yep.
Oh, all right, cool. All right. So, yeah, so everybody's back in the north. What do you guys want to do? What do you want to say? You all have a lot of different shit going on. Tell me what you're doing.
Well, as far as the Novakri conversation is, that's going to be a pretty substantial one. So we may want to save that to start that off next week.
No, what I'd like to do is, if nothing, I'd like you guys to fire out a bunch of shit right now, so that you have stuff and things to think about. So, tell me what you're thinking about. Tell me what you're doing. Tell me what your sort of objectives are, and by me, I mean the rest of the because Novakri just rejoined with everybody else. What is everybody else thinking about?
All right. So how much time would it take, and how much money would it require to learn a proficiency with the Warhammer?
It's a good question, and that's something I have to look into. I don't know, but that's something I will know for you shortly.
Okay.
Well,
I give Avej his studded leather armor and 5 gold.
Sweet. Thank you.
All right. What else are you guys doing? I know some of you have some plot hooks. Some of you have some ideas about stuff and things to do. What are you doing?
well,
Graham Stack was like, "Who's drinking?" beer.
Well, this would probably be a good time to mention that this is probably going to be a good way to just watch Novakri's world just burn because she's about to ask for something.
A jacket?
No, basically, she's going to run down. She's going to ask for help from the rest of the crew for a task. Explain that she needs some services that are going to cost 100 gold pieces, but she's only got 50, so she's agreed to take this quest, and she could really use the help of everybody around her. But she doesn't realize that you sold her, got 48 gold, and some crampons. So basically, yeah.
All right, so
Wait, hold on one sec. As a DM, I want to say this. TJ, do me a favor and give me a perception check.
19.
19. Perfect. As Novakri starts to talk about it, and is like, listen, I gotta do this, and I got something. Guys, I need some help, and let me just, and everyone's kind of like, spill it kind of thing. You notice that like somebody comes by your table and like kind of like clears the table really fast and then steps away. And as you turn, that person is like vapors, like they're not there anymore. Not that they turn into vapors, but they're still there anymore. And so you look back down. There is a coaster under your drink that wasn't there before, whether it's water or beer or ale or whatever. But there's a coaster there. What do you do?
I didn't know they cared this much about the tables. But I'll look into the coaster. I'll like flip it.
Yeah. So you lift. No, you don't have to flip it. Like you lift your, and on both sides of the coaster is a white.
Is Tom talking? I'm not hearing Tom.
Are you not hearing me? Not hearing me at all? Wait, is nobody hearing me?
Can you? No,
I hear you.
I'm here. Can you hear me, Daryl?
I can hear Kevin, yeah. And I
Okay.
hear T-Cast.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's like so admittedly I've been having some
I'm
trouble.
not hearing anything. I can see his
but-
things lighting up, but I'm not hearing him.
Huh. Do you have
Wait.
him muted?
I don't know. Can I mute him personally? I don't.
You can right
So?
click on them, but it should probably show that.
Yeah, he's not muted.
That's weird.
La 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 la.
All right. Restart, you guys. In and out. Off with you.
All right, be gone.
So
No, fucking both of you. Jeez, get out of here.
I'm
I don't know
trying.
which one's the problem? Get out of here and come back. See you in a second.
All right, I'm back. Daryl, can you hear me?
Now I can. Yes, that's much better.
Okay.
Like, why is nothing happening?
Awesome.
It's a boring
Awesome.
game.
All right. It's just another war game. But anyways, so just to
Boring
finish
conversation
what I was saying,
anyway.
TJ, are you here?
yep.
All right, cool. So you find this image of a white fish is like painted on either side of the coaster that's under your drink that was not there before. And I want you to give me an intelligence check.
Better you than me.
14.
14. As Novakri comes in and starts talking about all of this stuff, that is when you notice this figure or disappearing figure, and you get the sense that this is a big thumbs up. This concept of going to Tourmaline to deal with a gem mine sounds like something really positive for you.
Would it
Okay.
be okay with you, TJ, if I made a perception check to have seen that?
Yeah, you can make a perception check. Go ahead.
Because I rolled a 21.
Yeah, so with the 21, you see the white fish on the coaster, but you have no idea what that means.
Okay.
Not to be a dick, but to be a total dick. So, anyways, so what do you guys want to do? Do you want to set up, like, I mean, several of you have several ideas or several concepts, but what do you think is the most pertinent thing that you can do now?
Well, so far I think we've only heard the one from Novacree in terms of what is going on there. It's still not exactly sure what it is, so I was going to ask about that with, like, what's involved with this thing you were saying that's going to cost 100 gold that you need help with?
That's a fair question. Nova Cree, what do you want to say?
It is a very fair question. I think it's time to spill the beans on this one. So Novakri kind of lays her cloak down and starts undoing her bodice and just pulls apart.
Get naked!
I knew
And
I
ju-
knew you'd come around.
Yeah.
See?
No, a vague is like, everyone does this for a vague at some point.
You cannot resist the serpent's mouth forever.
You cannot resist the circus pride. Yes.
All right, so anyway.
it happens. But she pulls her bodice open just enough so you can see that just at the top of her cleavage, she's got this knot. It's not huge, but it's there. And it's kind of, Tom, would you say it's kind of pulsing a little bit, just very small?
Yeah, I would say that.
Basically, Novakri needs help to get spell components to get this taken care of.
Do not worry, that is not a deal breaker. But
You're not going
do you-
to mention the
you-
extra income.
do you know what might be required for that?
She does not know. All she has been told is that once she has the 100 gold, and then the components can be acquired, and this can be taken care of.
Oh, all right. So how much do you need?
Well, I have 50 on my 53, the bloodstone, and 3 gold. So I would need 47.
So I had already whoever. I mean, I can say that I had it. I'll give you the 48 and the clampons or whatever the hell they are.
Crampons.
Crampons.
CRAMPON.
Clampons.
Crampons.
So yeah, 48 gold and crampons for you.
And her face.
As you hand that over to her, the door to the north slams open. Which, by the way, for everyone to know, is actually right here. Main door. These doors slam open. And these 3 turban people come in and they're like, Zahir! I knew you would be found. Parmesan says that you must fall, and your head is the only price that will be paid. And they draw these like long falchion blades, and they're like, all who stand in our way will be decided with.
I'm charging and attacking them.
And we'll deal with that next week.
Enough talking. I just attack.
We'll deal with that next week. And everybody is exactly where they are. about right now, and I
Awesome,
can't
man.
stop these goddamn hiccups. What is happening?
No worries. Thank you very much.
Awesome. I will be in for the last 10 minutes of the game next week too.
All right, we'll have you rage out as a barbarian for.
That's what I'm just attacking everyone.
Right. It's just like,
Awesome,
wow,
guys.
time to charge. Let's go.
Catch you guys next week.
Absolutely. Later, guys.
All right, good job, everybody. Later.
Bye,
Toodles.
Mike.